In this video, we're going to show you exactly how you can sell $50,000 a month. I've invited 4 of my friends who all do over $50,000 a month. That's over $1 million a year on Amazon FBA. We're going to show you exactly how you can find profitable product to sell on Amazon FBA from your home without ever leaving your house. And we're also going to show you how to get that product listed so customers can purchase from you so you can get more money in your bank account. And then also my friend Carter is going to show you how you, if you want, you can build this business in a way where other people run it for you and they find the product for you. So be sure to stay until Carter. And then my friend Jameson at the end is going to be sharing how he sells over $1 million a year in toys, using similar strategies to what Miles and Warner would teach you, but he also shows you how to go into physical stores. So if you guys actually want to get out and drive, there's a lot more ROI for those products. So we're going to show you several different strategies. And at the very end, we'll be answering all your questions. So be sure to listen to the full Q&A because a lot of beginner questions, a lot of common mistakes are going to be addressed. Much love, guys. Super excited for this training. Be sure to watch the full boot camp and let's get into it. What's up, guys? We got all the speakers here. I'm going to let everyone briefly introduce themselves, and then Warner's going to take this event and start teaching you guys how to find some profitable products. So what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Good, man.
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
100%. We'll start with Miles, and then we'll go to Carter, Jameson, and Miles.
Cool. Yeah. So my name's Miles. I'm 24. I live in Miami. I've been a 7-figure Amazon seller the past couple of years. I originally started in 2019 thanks to this weird guy named Avery who lived in his drove around the country living in his car with the canoe on the top of it. Right
almost
there,
lives in the canoe.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah. Facts. Thankfully, the business took off. Yeah. Right there, and started doing online arbitrage in 2021. That was what really clicked for me. I did 7 figures in sales that first year. 6 figures in profit, been doing that stuff since then, 6 figures a month for about 2 years now consistently right there, and excited to chop it up online arbitrage. We have a sourcing software called SellerAmp, and love talking about this stuff, so we're going to get a chance to do a lot of that today.
Okay, I think I said Miles twice. I confused Miles with Warner. Warner, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
What's up, guys? I'm Warner. I've been selling Amazon since 2018. We do about $2 million a year. Big on like delegating, that kind of stuff. My team, I work like an hour a day or so to do that. And I'm also one of the co-owners at SellerAmp. So we're super excited to show you guys exactly some specific tactical stuff tonight.
We got shots fired today. Someone's coming at me for selling fake books. Carter Maxwell, what's up?
Yes, sir. Hey, grateful to be here. Thank you, Avery. Yeah, so 23 years old, been selling on Amazon for about 6 years. Started out reselling books, transitioned to retail arbitrage, and now on to online arbitrage. Personal Amazon business does about $55,000 to $60,000 a month, and I currently work less than about an hour a day, just like Warner over there, because I've structured my business to be able to operate by 2 virtual assistants without needing too much input from me. So grateful to be here.
All right, and Jameson, last but not least.
Everybody. My name is Jameson Philippi. I'm on pace this year to do about 1.5 million in sales. I specialize in retail arbitrage, traveling around the country. I've currently shopped at about 6,500 stores around the U.S. I've been full-time on Amazon now for 8 years. I've been selling selling 7 figures a year for I think the past 3 or 4 years now. And I mainly do retail arbitrage from the road. I do a little bit of OA, wholesale, and I buy out a lot of like closing stores and stuff like that. So grateful to be here.
Awesome, sweet. And yeah, the purpose of this video, guys, is to show you how to sell on Amazon step by step, start to finish. Literally, like this video, you guys can reference again. You'll be able to know how to find product, how to list product, how to scale your business. So let's dive into it, guys. I'm going to let Warner take it away with product sourcing first.
Awesome. Let's do it. I'm just going to go ahead and pop open a screen share for you guys.
Yep.
We're just going to jump into it. So let me get this up.
Boom.
Yeah, can you throw me up on screen? Awesome.
Yep. Should be good to go. Take it away, man.
Sweet. So I'm going to be showing you guys in about 15 minutes or so how to find your first products to sell on Amazon. Probably the easiest way for beginners, and then Miles is going to show you a different way to source products that also works super well. Maybe a little bit more catered towards those of you guys who are already selling a tiny bit on Amazon. So I want to address the question that we are going to get a million times tonight, and that's ungating. Before I ever even talk about selling products, yes, you can sell name brand products. Yes, you can get ungated in them without any prior sales history. So this is like an example of a standard wholesaler. I use Frontier Co-op in a lot of examples. I've used this website to get ungated in a lot of major categories myself. And really what you need to do to get ungated, guys, is just buy from a wholesaler like this. You can also buy from the stores you're actually just buying from. We'll get into this here in a second. But if you want to buy the book super safe with it, you can buy from wholesalers like this. Make sure you buy 10 units of the product. Download the invoice, all that good stuff, submit it to Amazon, you're good to go. And you will get denied a couple times, right? So keep resubmitting. You'll get a rep that knows what they're doing as long as you open a case instead of reapplying on the same one. So that's Ungating. Hopefully that addresses a lot of limiting beliefs that some of you guys might have. So let's just go ahead and jump into it then. So I've got this example product up. Because this is number one, it's a good starting point for this sourcing method. We're just going to be doing some reverse sourcing here. So for those of you guys who are expert Amazon sellers, you guys are probably masters of this already. You know how important this is. But I've got this product pulled up, right? Because over on Amazon, it's selling for about $30 right now. Over at Target, it's in stock, all that good stuff. We can get it for $16. So plugging that into your profit calculator, even at the price it's at right now, you're going to make $5 profit. It's not the greatest ROI in the world, but this is just one quick example here of a product that you can start from at least, right? I've got a few examples we'll probably jump into as well, but all you need to get started with this method is one example product. Here's your example product if you don't have a profitable product that you can start from. But let's just go ahead and jump into it then. So the first thing I'm going to do on these listings is find a storefront that has, a few reviews, not a ton, because you don't want to be kind of an expert, so to speak, right? So this guy here with 4,000 reviews, they're probably going to have a ton of products, a ton of brands that might be difficult to figure out how to source. So this is actually kind of a weird one. They're selling anything under the sun, so good for them. But I like focusing on sellers with not a ton of feedback because they're not going to be the most expert sellers in the world. So this guy only has 4 feedback. If this is you, then sorry. But we're going to go ahead and dive in from here, right? So using SellerAmp. SellerAmp is our tool, right? It's less than $20 a month. It's one of the few tools that you genuinely need to get started selling on Amazon because of this method right here and profit calculator, all that kind of stuff we'll get into as well. But as we're on this storefront view right here, this is where the magic happens. This is where we source profitable leads. And hopefully we can find something live with you guys, right? But all we're looking for here is the items that we think we can buy for the max cost. So SellerAmp's going to make it super easy for you. You don't have to worry about knowing what price to buy it for. A lot of times the fees can vary widely from item to item. Typically you want to buy it for about half of what you're going to sell it for, but clearly you can see there's some exceptions to that because, right here we need $3, which is obviously less than half of 13. So let's just go ahead and jump down the line here and start picking out things we think we can buy for that cost option. And for me, I'm going to probably skip a lot of this up at the top. Kind of makes sense. The stuff at the top is the fastest selling items. The fastest selling items are going to have more intense competition. So if you do find one of these, 800 BSRs, it sells really fast, it's profitable, then that's an awesome kind of a winner, right? But it's going to be a little bit harder to find those super fast, super profitable leads. I might actually check this one. I'm not sure what the prices on this kind of stuff is. So to do that, we just have to hit the Google button there. It's going to grab that and paste it into Google for us. So we got coconut there, and then it's going to find a lot of different options for us. I'm a big fan of the Google Shopping tab on here. So we can start seeing if we can find it for around $4. And always remember coupons and all that good stuff. So I say here for $6, and always just going to open up a few different options, especially if it's close, right? So on this one, maybe we can get a coupon or something like that. Let's see. Capital One Shopping's not working on this site. This is a new site to me, so maybe they're legit, maybe they're not. They are selling them for about $5 a piece, so it'd be close. I don't know if I need to do too much more digging on this, but that could be something worth looking at. And really, as we're going down here, you'll start to notice, and over time, what you need to develop as a new Amazon seller is which items are reasonable to find for that price, right? And as a new seller, you would have no idea to know if this is a $3 item, this is a $20 item, in terms of how much you'd have to pay for it to source it. So if you don't have that, those things connected, you need to look at everything. And that's why sourcing is going to be slow for you as a new seller. But as you do the reps more and more, you can start skipping things. So I know you can skip that. And honestly, probably that based on the max cost, we'd have to get these for $6 a pop. Really, we're just going through here and looking for things that we think we can buy for that option. So I actually saw these at a Marshall's. These are profitable. If any of you guys have a Marshall's nearby, I guess we're putting a lot of people on it now, but these are $17 at a Marshall's. We bought some of these the other day. Back to school season, right? So These would be $8. So maybe we can get these for $4 each. That's one of the first ones that's been a little bit interesting to look into. Let's pop that open. Papaya enzyme. We're looking for 180 count. There's 180. Could be from Walmart. Let's see. So we're going to visit Walmart. If they are actually $4.50, we could be somewhat close. It seems like they're like $5 a piece, and they're going for like 18. So, like we're talking about, you want to look for that rule where you're buying for about half of what you're paying it for, or what you're selling it for. So here, $18, obviously a little bit more than double the $10 you'd have to pay for it. So let's go ahead and just keep on diving through here. And another thing you guys can do, if you are more familiar with certain brands. So for example, I know a lot of new sellers want to jump in with like Nike, that kind of stuff. You can also filter down to specifically just those products. This is also not a horrible brand to check right now since it is back to school season. So let's go ahead and check out and see if we can find any of this stuff. It looks like they might have been doing some in-store shopping based on the types of products they're selling, but we can definitely dig a little bit deeper. So $6 for a hat is probably a little cheap. Let's go ahead and keep going through here. So this one's maybe a little bit interesting. Let's check this one out. If we get that for hat for like $7, there it is at Dick's for 10. There's also kind of the other piece of this sourcing method, right, is connecting it to other sales that are already going on. So for example, we know that there's, now you know that there's a Nike sale going on. And so if you find that item, it's on sale, that kind of thing, you might be able to connect the dots a little bit. Seems like this one isn't on that sale though. So let's see. We need those for like $15. You can also use like the arbitrage hero integration if you guys are more advanced. It'll kind of roughly tell you where you might be able to source these items. Let's see. I might check out this one. Just because it's a little bit on the more expensive side. All these, like, we're not buying socks for $4, that kind of thing. Let's see. There's the Nike.com listing. We need them for $11. They're selling for like 15 plus a coupon. So we'll probably go ahead and skip that. And honestly, the art of reverse sourcing is, which brands are worth my time, but also which sites should I check out, or which storefronts are worth digging deeper into, right? So this guy's only got 4 feedback. So he's brand new to Amazon. He's got 176 products, so he must be doing pretty well. But based on that, seems like a lot of his items have gone down in price or something like that. So we'd probably want to find a little bit higher quality of a seller. So to do that, I'm going to show you another kind of example product. So found this one on Walmart earlier. I noticed
select the conditions. So if you're coming from the online arbitrage world, this is an online arbitrage training. So you'll likely sell your products new, but if you are selling used products, this is for good. This is for acceptable, like new, very good. So we'll go ahead and select new, and then you can enter the source. So I can put, I got this from Walmart.com. And then my buy cost, you definitely want to put your buy cost in here. That way, when you look at your profit analytics, they're accurate. So I get most of my books for $1. So I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to show you guys the speed of this real quick. If you guys can see, I have all these books in a pile. Give me 1 second. Too many cords here. Got all these books in a pile here. And we actually programmed this software to be able to list so fast. Even if Amazon has a slow response time, we can still scan our items in. So check this out. All right, that's 6 books here. I'm currently here in Mexico, so I'm not going to label these. But if you have a Rolo printer or Dymo printer, it would be printing out the labels right now. And I would simply label these with FNSKU labels. So be sure to prep your items properly. Most items don't require prep. If you are doing online arbitrage, some of your items will require a poly bag. I recommend getting a good prep center that knows how to prep items. But if not, just follow the instructions that Amazon gives you. So as you can see, I just listed like 12 books in probably 20 seconds. If any of the books have restrictions or any errors like that, they will come up here. So you can see this one had 2 different titles. So I can see that this is the correct book here. So I'll select that. Boom. 13 books in less than a minute listed. And you can see it tells you the total profit for the full batch. One of the other cool things about Go-To Lister is it tells you exactly, it tells you when there are no FBA offers. So if you guys are selling FBA and there's no FBA competition, there's no prime competition, you can price your items a lot higher. And we have something called smart pricing where we price your items 20% higher if there are no FBA offers. So after you list all these, what you're going to do is click on send batch. This is going to send the information to Amazon, and it's going to show you what warehouse destinations the products are going to. So we have 2 products going to one warehouse and 11 products going to another. We can either go back and remove these 2 products, because if we send these 2 products, these 2 books, it's going to cost a lot of money for shipping, since the shipment's so small. So I would actually go back and remove these. But here's a pro tip. The bigger your shipment is, the less likely they're going to be split. So let's pretend that we're listing a Nike item, because this works for all products. What we can do, actually, I'll show you guys beforehand. This is really important for OA people. Let's say you bought 100 of these Nike underwear. So you can enter the quantity of 100 beforehand. You can also change the quantity after you list. So we'll type in Nike. And as you see, we have these Nike, whatever these are. I've actually sold these before. And now it's going to list 100. And from my experience, I actually did this yesterday. Like it made there be no split shipments. So like the bigger the shipment you can get, the more likely all the items are going to go to one warehouse. It's something weird. See, they're all going to one warehouse now. So now what I'm going to do is click on accept shipments. And if you guys do have a ton of split shipments you're dealing with, maybe Amazon wants to send 30 of an item there, 30 of an item there. We actually have a really good flow on the next page. I don't have time to go into detail. If you guys are watching from my YouTube channel, there's a video in the description that shows you a complete tutorial of how to use GoToLister. If you guys sign up for a free account for GoToLister, you'll get that complete tutorial sent to you as well. But yeah, that's basically how you list items. It's really that simple. And this makes it way easier, way faster. And in addition, you can view like what items are selling, and you can see what your profit is. And one of the really cool things is we allow you to export all your sales data. So if you go here, you can see your sales data, and you're able to export all your orders. And then this is a special offer for everyone that's on this training. If you guys do want a Replenish Sheet, this is a spreadsheet. All you have to do is export 2 reports from GoToLister. I have a tutorial video that breaks down how to do this. You put them in here, and then what it does is it tells you how much more of a product you need for a 30-day supply. So let's say you're doing online arbitrage. You bought 12 of these Old Spice deodorant, and you sold 12 like in a day. You might not know, because you're busy running your business. Maybe you have a job. Maybe you're doing a lot of other things. You might not know that you need to buy more of these, but I recommend once a week, export your data into here from GoToLister, and it's going to tell you exactly how much of the product you should buy more of based on what you have in stock and what your 30-day supply is. So the spreadsheet will estimate your 30-day sales based on your sales history. And then it also knows what items you listed, because you're using this to list all your items. And it'll tell you, as you can see here, I'm not going to show you the exact ASINs for this product, because these are my friend's products, but he needs to buy 40 more of these if he can, 32 more of these. And a lot of times in online arbitrage, wholesale, whatever business model you're doing, you can just go back to your supplier, go back to where you purchased it originally, and buy more. So one of the biggest mistakes you can make as an Amazon seller is understocking in inventory. You want to keep all your inventory in stock as much as possible in order to keep your profit high every day. And you also don't want to overstock too. So make sure you don't buy too much of inventory. But this spreadsheet here will prevent you from missing out on sales from understocked inventory. And everybody who messages us at the email that I'm about to give you will get this. And I have a special offer for you guys today. And here it is. So just a reminder, everyone's going to be enrolled for a free Rolo Printer. The Rolo Printer not only prints shipping labels for the box, so the Amazon label, the UPS label, it can also print the labels, the FNSKU labels for your products. One of the best things about thermal printers, and Rolo is a thermal printer, is you never have to pay for ink. So ink is very expensive. You never have to pay for ink for this. I recommend, regardless of if you win this today or not, I do recommend getting a Rolo printer. They're amazing. And we're going to be giving one away for free at the end of the training. Also, for anyone that goes to gotolister.com today and signs up, if you guys are watching from Warner's channel or whoever else's channel, go click on the description below. I know Ray Can Profit streaming this on his channel too. Be sure to support, your favorite creator by going through their affiliate link, because they will get a kickback if you guys sign up through their link. And everyone today is going to get a 45-day trial of GoToLister if you email us. You have to email us Reselling Bootcamp at support@gotolister.com. So after you sign up, email us support@gotolister.com from the email that you signed up with. Reselling Bootcamp, and we're going to tag you for a 45-day trial. In addition, I'm also going to give you my complete repricing template for free. I usually charge $100 for this. I learned this from Scott Needham. He spoke at Miami Sellers Conference in 2021, and he increased his profit margin from 14% to 18% simply by pricing his items up at nighttime. That's a pro tip. At nighttime, if you price your items up, then the next morning, a lot of times the prices will stay up. And obviously, if you have higher prices, you get more profit. And this repricing strategy encompasses that. I use this for online arbitrage and for my book business, and it's been great. It's a pretty simple repricing strategy. It just helps you move items fast, make sure you protect your profit with like a 20% ROI, different things like that. But you'll get that complete strategy for free. And if you guys want, my team can actually set this strategy up for you within Channel Max. So we use Channel Max as our repricer. So you guys will get that for free just for signing up for Go-To-Lister today. Also, you'll get my free step-by-step book selling course. I used to charge $400 for this. I still do charge $400 for this. People are still paying me $400 for this course. You guys get it absolutely for free just by going to GoToLister.com and signing up. So just a reminder of everything you're going to get my exclusive 45-day trial. That is a $75 value. That's $75 worth of our software because you're getting 45 days. That's a month and a half free. You'll get access to the fastest listing software on the planet. Remember, this is an Inventory Lab replacement. If you guys are coming over from Inventory Lab, we can help you transfer your data. We have a very simple video that shows you how to download one report from Inventory Lab and transfer all your data to Go-To-Lister. You're going to get my $400 book selling course for free. It's got over 100 videos in it, dozens and dozens of hours of footage teaching you how to build a book business. And then my complete repricing strategy, copy and paste template. This is good for online arbitrage and for book selling as well. It's via Channel Max. And you guys will get that. It's a $97 value. You get a free one-on-one profit analytics setup call with me. So if you guys are confused at all, or maybe you're coming from Inventory Lab or some other inferior software, and you do want me to help you set up if you're like nervous about anything, I will actually personally hop on a call with you and make sure that all your reports are good to go. It's a $100 value. I should probably value that at higher because an hour of my time is valuable. Then you'll get my restock spreadsheet. Like I mentioned, that's a $400 value. We'll tell you every single time you should restock on ASINs. We don't want you to run out of stock. And if you're using Go-To-Lister to list everything, then you'll know exactly what items you have in stock and what items, you don't have a 30-day supply of. You need to forecast in the future and see, do I even have a 30-day supply of these ASINs that are making me money? If the answer is no, you need to buy more. And then obviously you'll get a chance to win the Rolo Printer, which will be given away at the end during Q&A. So everyone who signs up and emails us Reselling Bootcamp, again, be sure to do, here it is right here. Just everyone always asks this over and over again. Be sure to email us support@gotolister.com, Reselling Bootcamp. Even for people watching the replay of this video, this offer stands for you guys. You guys will get everything I mentioned on the screen before, except for the Rolo Printer. That's for the live people. But everyone watching the replay too, you guys will get the option to get all of this right here. All you got to do is email us Reselling Bootcamp at support@gotolister.com after you sign up for Go-To-Lister, and my team will be sure to tag that email that you signed up with a 45-day trial. So before we get out of here, one more time, what we're going to do is go to Gotolister.com, click on free trial right here, and then you can enter your information and you'll have an account. You guys can try this for 45 days. No commitment, no contracts, no long-term commitment. You can cancel anytime. And yeah, that's Go-To-Lister, guys. Boom. All right, let's get into it. We got Mr. Carter Maxwell coming up next. Let me get my screen down. Super pumped for you, brother. And guys, keep the questions coming. We got tons of people in here. We got 166 people live. Keep these questions coming because we're going to answer all the questions during the Q&A. You ready to rock and roll, brother?
Yes, sir, man. Am I ready to go ahead and get after it?
Yes, sir. Make sure that you want to share your screen.
Let's do it. Yes. We can do that right now.
What are your sales at the last 30 days?
We are at 58,000 last time I checked. I don't know if you can see that.
And
nothing too crazy.
Your virtual assistants found most of those products?
Yes, they did.
All of them?
Majority of them. I'm not doing too much sourcing on my own right now. So
yeah, so I'm pumped to have Carter here because he actually went to the Philippines, which I'm super envious of, to meet his Filipino team. He's probably the most connected person with the Filipinos. You actually went over there, which is super cool to meet his virtual assistants, and he'll talk about like what you can pay these people. You can actually pay these people a lot less than You can pay Americans to do work because the exchange rate is favorable for us. And you can really leverage these people to help you build your business and find profitable product. And, if you guys are trying to build a real business where you can take a step back and have product be found for you, Carter's a great resource. So, and guys, be sure to subscribe to everybody below. We got Flips for Miles, Fields of Profit. We got everyone below, Jameson, me, Steve Rakin. Be sure to sub to all these channels.
Cool. Yeah. And can you see my screen right now, Avery?
Yep.
Cool.
Take it away,
All right,
man.
I'll hop right into it. So Appreciate having me on here.
100%.
I'm sure too many of you might not know who I am. Quick little introduction. My name's Carter. Been selling on Amazon for 6 years. Started out reselling books, went to retail arbitrage. Now I do online arbitrage. And a lot of people know me as the virtual assistant coach. I just wanted to quickly showcase my Instagram real quick. Part of the fact that I post a lot of virtual assistant content. So if you want to learn more, definitely feel free to give me a follow. But I actually went to the Philippines this past January. So here's like a couple of my actual team members I got to meet in person, hang out with. So just like Avery said, I have a pretty deep connection to the people in the Philippines. Me posting content, gives them more opportunities to be able to work as a virtual assistant. So I'm not gonna waste any more time. I'm gonna get right to my presentation. It's not super sexy looking. I just have my basic outline here. I know some of you guys like to just read, or maybe you want to take some notes. Feel free to write this down. So my goal is to break down exactly how I have built and structured my business to do $55,000 plus months on Amazon by leveraging my 2-person virtual assistant team to where, most days I don't even touch my Amazon business. So I'm sure for a lot of you, that's either a dream outcome or, an outcome that you'd like to eventually build up to. So the first step is you need to identify the bottleneck in your business. Why are you currently not scaling? Why are you not making more money? So for a lot of people, there could be capital restraints. You just don't physically have enough time to be able to spend time sourcing, working on the business. Could be a lack of sourcing skills and knowledge, or just trouble with lead flow. I've basically built out a couple categories that, if you fall into this category, I think grabbing a virtual assistant and working with them could be, a huge, huge benefit. So the first thing is, if you have some sort of lead flow issues, either you're having trouble finding leads yourself, or, if your time is already limited. I work with a lot of people that have full-time, part-time jobs, stay-at-home moms, kids. They have other commitments, and by all means, go ahead and live your life. But, the overall goal of, growing that business, I think a virtual assistant is a great way to do it. So that leads me to step number 2, which is the hiring process. So I use the job website called onlinejobs.ph. I know there's a couple other websites out there you can potentially find virtual assistants from. There's Upwork, there's Fiverr from my experience, and then also, studying some of the larger sellers out there I've talked to. OnlineJobs.ph has been great for me. I'll pull up 2 job posts here to show you a few examples of what I think a good job post looks like, and then maybe a not so good job post. So the reason you are posting a job post is you want to alert the community. People are coming on this website. They are looking to be freelancers, and specifically, being a product sourcer in the Philippines is actually a great opportunity. You get paid well, you get to work from home, and, there's the opportunity to expand, increase salary, all those great things. So what I want to mention is, when you create a job post, you want to do your real best job to attract high quality candidates. For example, this is what I consider a not very well put together job post. It's not very descriptive. Nothing here is really piquing my, if I popped on here and I was a virtual assistant, first off, this monthly salary isn't super attractive. This is very much on the low end. $2 per hour, very much on the low end. You're going to be working US hours before you switch to Filipino hours. So there's not much going on in this job post that is going to attract those experienced, those skilled virtual assistants that you want to attract to your business. And here's an example of one I found earlier today. You can just see the difference in the copy, the layout. They explain exactly what the role is, what they're looking for, preferably past experience that you have, if that's using softwares, tools, and even key things like benefits. This is something a lot of people forget about. Like, you want to attract the best people. So for my company, I give paid time off for all Filipino holidays. I allow them to work flexible hours. Obviously, we have goals in place. We have, amounts we have to spend on inventory. And so I allow them to work Filipino hours, which is basically while I'm sleeping, they're working. I wake up, there's deals in my inbox. And then right down here, they have a couple of questions just to learn a little bit more about them. And I'll show you just exactly why putting a few questions on your job post can be extremely important. Of course, I know a lot of you are going to have questions. Feel free to send them in the chat now, or you can message me on Instagram if I don't get to them today. Step number 3, you want to sift through prospects. If you put out a solid job post, don't be surprised if 75 to 100 virtual assistants apply and reach out to you. Now, 100 people reaching out to you, that is, first off, for your first time, it's a super overwhelming process. Most Amazon sellers, they put out their job posts, they have all these people come and reach out to them, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like, how do I figure out who to sign? Like, I'm not about to interview all 75 of these people. So then you just look at their resumes and you line up a few random VAs and then select one to work with. Personally, that's not my favorite approach. What I do for myself, as well as for clients that we help hire virtual assistants for, and my personal Amazon business, and basically any business I've ever hired virtual assistants for, we like to take the sample project approach. So when you put out your job post, people are going to reach back out to you. You want to be able to provide some little small, quick project. Try to keep this under 30 minutes. You don't want to ask like, hey, give me 3 leads or 5 leads, because that could take a virtual assistant hours all day. You obviously want to be respectful for their time, and you want as many people to be able to complete that sample project as possible. One thing I did want to mention, and I highlighted right here, when you put your job post out, just add 2 or 3 questions at the bottom. You can see, enter your, what's your favorite category to source products in, your past experience doing online arbitrage, your favorite, grocery stack. The reason you want questions is you'll be able to quickly see which job applicants that responded back to you actually read your job post. A large portion of the time, there's going to be virtual assistants that just go through every single, online arbitrage job post, and they just spam out their application. They're not actually reading your job post. And for that reason, that's not a candidate that I would want to bring into my company, into my business. So, adding something as small as 2 or 3 questions, and then actually making sure they read your job post and, responded to it correctly is huge, because your goal is to filter out the good candidates from the bad candidates. So that brings us to step number. Actually, I want to talk about the sample project real quick. This could be a variety of things. I remember I started out by doing like a paid leads project. So I'm like, hey, provide me 3 leads and I'll pay you, $5, $10, whatever it might be. This could be something as simple as, hey, here's 3 leads that I found. Please provide me your feedback. And you could add, 2 good leads and 1 lead, and you hope that they can, point out any issues there. So just some example for sample projects. I don't have a ton of time for this call, so I don't want to go too in depth. Step number 4 is you want to grade those sample projects. Like I said, we want to filter the good candidates from the bad candidates, and then you want to filter out the great candidates from the good candidates. So usually you can select whatever grade scale you'd like. I do a scale of 1 to 10. If they're graded a 1, they didn't do a very good job. If they were graded a 5, it was great. It was a perfect completion of sample project, in my opinion. The overall goal is to grade all those sample projects and then come up with essentially a database of from the sample project who those best candidates would be. And then you want to set up interviews for them. So typically, if you want to hire 1 virtual assistant, the more VAs that you can interview, the better. Typically at least 5 to 6 at a minimum. And you're going to interview them. So try to come prepared with questions. I usually schedule about 15 to 20 minutes for each call so I can make sure I get all of my questions and I'm able to learn as much from them as I can. If you need help with questions, message me. I have basically a document I put together with questions. But for example, one big question I like to ask them is, hey, how long have you been doing, Amazon product research for? How long were you with your last client? What kind of tasks were you doing for their clients? How much were they paying? You're just trying to gather as much information as possible. And specifically for me, my goal is to have that VA transition into my business and help me, grow and make money as quickly as possible. And so very often I'm going after experienced and skilled VAs, which helps filter out when you can do a sample project, and then, you can confirm basically the legitimacy when you hop on the interviews with them. So definitely recommend getting at least 5 or 6 interviews. Take some notes, give some time to think about it. Also, I know there's a lot of things like salary. I was kind of going to hold that to the end because I know a lot of people have questions. Do I pay them for leads? If I'm paying them $400 a month or $500 a month, should I have them send me a certain amount of leads, or how do I structure that? So we can talk about that a little bit later. But the goal is to obviously select a top candidate. Now, if you have, 2 or maybe even 3 great candidates, you can't decide, just set them up on a paid 1 to 2 week trial. This is what I've seen has worked best for me. A paid trial, it's a win-win for everybody. And you're able to see kind of who performs the best, and, who does the best work for, whatever your task is, if that's sourcing leads or finding coupons, deals. And then step number 6, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about this because there's 2 huge steps in having success scaling on Amazon with the virtual assistant. The first one is the hiring process, like doing your absolute best in selecting a very good candidate that's qualified, skilled, has a good personality, and, has the ability to want to grow, learn, and just overall grow in your company. And that also brings us to, basically the second chunk, the final step of this process, which is the training. So after you've done your best to bring on what you think is the best possible virtual assistant, you need to train them. And for beginner Amazon sellers, this can definitely be a struggle because your goal is to basically pass your knowledge, the skills you have, sourcing skills, to that virtual assistant. The quickest way that you can scale is to get that virtual assistant operating and thinking exactly like you, the business owner. This could be one of the best ways that I did it was getting on Zoom calls. Hey, here's how I like to do product sourcing, like just kind of how Miles and Warner earlier were, showing you guys how to source. That's exactly what I would do. But specifically, some sellers, like maybe have specific brands or specific categories that you like to focus on. You can kind of share those tips and tricks with that virtual assistant. Of course, you want to build, first off, a personal connection. This is, this is an employee. A lot of people, I think, don't treat their virtual assistants very well. And, they expect too much of them when they're not, providing the value, providing the training that they need. So first off, build a personal connection. Where are they from? What are their hobbies? What do they like to do in their free time? And then you can kind of get into the business section. But overall, you are a mentor and a coach to them. You have more skills than them. So you need to be able to pass that knowledge on to them so that they can continue to grow and help you scale your business. And kind of how I have my business structured is I have 2 virtual assistants. So I have one full-time sourcer. All day, every day, she's sourcing. And then I have basically my half product sourcer / half purchasing manager. So he also finds leads, but he also reviews that first virtual assistant's leads. First off, what he does is he provides feedback for every lead. If it's a good lead, he approves it. He tells her why. If it wasn't approved, he's providing feedback. Feedback is also huge once you have a virtual assistant. That's kind of why you need some level of experience. You don't have to be a complete expert, but some level of experience where when they provide you a lead, you can provide feedback so that if they gave you, an unprofitable lead or, a lead that you don't want to pursue, you're able to teach them and show them why. Of course, you want to share your vision. Hey, I'm doing 15,000 a month, 20,000 a month. I think that, if we focus on our spend goals and, really hit these sales, like we can get to 20, 30,000, opportunity for raises, bonuses, all that cool stuff. But your goal is to serve as a leader and as a teacher. I also wanted to save some time for questions as well, so I don't want to take too long. But if you guys have some questions, feel free to go ahead and message me on Instagram. I'll go ahead and send a link in the chat. Feel free to message me with questions. I'm sure
Carter's all about the Instagram, guys. We got to get his YouTube channel back up. Comment one below if you want Carter to start posting more on YouTube. This kid's talented, but he's been gone for over a year. He's just been posting on Instagram for some reason. But go ahead and go give him a follow on Instagram, but also give him a sub on YouTube. And we'll be running some Q&A here in about probably 20, 30 minutes with all the speakers. So if you guys have questions specifically for Carter, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And Carter, if you maybe want to look out for some of those and write them down, and then we can address them. We got tons of ones coming in. We got Desa, we got Marty, we got My Stealth Life. Yeah. What, real quick, I'll let you answer this one. Like, what do you think is like a good starting rate for a virtual assistant for sourcing?
Yeah. So, I mean, personally, in my business and what I've seen, talking and speaking to hundreds of virtual assistants that have worked for clients in the past, I would say typically on the low end, a starting salary for a less experienced virtual assistant typically is going to be closer to $400 per month, maybe $450 per month. However, usually the more experience they have, the more confident they are, the better leads that they can provide. I do see a lot more virtual assistants towards the $550 to $600 per month range. That is personally what I would consider more of the high end monthly.
What's
fee.
the most you pay one of your team members?
That is that's a little private information, but over $900 for sure.
You don't want you scared about the other ones seeing the other ones
Yeah,
watching
I
right
don't
now?
want people reaching out to me saying, I'm kidding. But I mean,
Yeah.
what I was about to say is myself included, as well as some other Amazon sellers out there, they pay more than $600 per month because the virtual assistant is able to provide them and make them enough money where they are comfortable, being to go ahead and pay those amounts. If that's upwards of $600, $700, $800, $900, and that's kind of the upper range over 900.
Awesome.
1,000 is kind of what I pay my main guy to do purchasing,
Yeah.
reviewing, and managing my other virtual assistant.
Yeah, that's what my main man's at too. He's a little bit over 1,000 a month, but he's been with me for years. He works like 10 hours a day. Truly, like he's truly there. So it's definitely worth it. But I also want to give a few shout outs to everyone enrolling for this Rolo giveaway. Remember, this printer can print shipping labels and labels for your product. We're going to give away to one of you guys. We have quite a few people who have entered. We got Arbitrage Annie, Alexis, Tiffany, Jason, Marty, Mark, Love Preet, Poppin' Tots, Mohammed, Diane, Lori, Desa, Adnan, Jordan, and Sarah. Remember, guys, all you need to do is head on over to GoToLister.com, go to free trial, enter your information here. Is 100% no risk, no contracts, no long-term commitment. See if you like the software. It's 45-day trial, and usually it's just a 14-day trial. So this is a big opportunity. And in addition, you guys are also going to get everything you see here on the screen. I won't go over all of it, but it's the courses I offer and everything here that I spoke of earlier. But let's keep this rocking and rolling. Remember, email us, Reselling Bootcamp at support@gotools.com. We're going to do the giveaway soon. And remember, everyone watching the replay, you'll still get everything you see here on the screen in the replay, except for the Rolo Printer giveaway. But if you have a GoToLister account, you'll always be entered for these Rolo Printer giveaways. We do them often. You can never have too many Rolo printers. It's nice to have multiple because you don't have to switch out the labels as much. So appreciate you coming on, man. And we'll get you back on here in just a few minutes to help answer some Q&A.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
Sweet. Sounds good. Mr. Jameson Philippi. You ready to rock and roll?
Sir.
Let me get your screen up here. All right. Jameson, what's your sales the last 12 months? You cracked $1 million last year. Last year you did 1.2-ish?
1.3 I did last year. I think I'm at like 1.4 right now for the last 12 months.
Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. We got Rebecca saying, where do I register if I have an existing account? If you guys already have a GoToLister account, just email us Reselling Bootcamp and we'll get you entered for the giveaway. All right, Jameson, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to take this Reselling Bootcamp. We're going to go a little bit different direction here with things. Before I jump in to show you guys how I source, what I source and stuff like that, I'm going to share a little bit with you guys of how I got started. Here's a picture of my mugshot when I got arrested and went to jail. And I'm just going to kind of give you guys a little brief story of how I got started, how I went from a homeless drug addict to 7-figure Amazon seller. Damn. Yeah, it's crazy seeing this picture every time I look at it. It's like I don't even see the same person anymore. But about 10 years ago, 10 to 12 years ago, I was addicted to opiates, Percocet, Vicodin, Oxycontin, you name it, I did it. And it pretty much destroyed my whole life. I went to rehab 4 times, inpatient, outpatient. Ended up getting fired from my job at Buffalo Wild Wings as a server. That was my last real job that I had. Eventually used all my resources, spent all my money, fired from my job, kicked out of my house, was couch surfing, friends, family, eventually would get kicked out of there, was evicted from my apartments. And when I got clean and sober, I pretty much played World of Warcraft for like 3 years in my basement. And I was the epitome of just absolute dirt trash. I was just a loser. I had nothing going for me, nothing to offer. And when I wanted to start working again, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a job that easy. Over a year and a half or so, I applied at, 50 to 100 different places, getting interviews, one interview, two interview, and nobody would hire me. Eventually, I started doing eBay, and that was kind of just, I had kind of done eBay in the past a little bit, sold a couple things here and there, the garage sales and thrift stores and stuff like that. So I started doing that just to kind of help, get a little bit of money to eat and stuff like that while I was trying to find a job. And the more I kept getting turned down from jobs and just, it was like a kick in the face. Eventually it just like hit me that I wasn't employable, in the United States. So I just stuck with it. Eventually finding Amazon, I started out at thrift stores and garage sales, and slowly, got into, I didn't know what it was called at the time, retail arbitrage, going to Target and Walmart and stuff like that, sourcing and scanning products. Back then when I started, there was no, help out there. It was just, trial and error, do everything by yourself. There was no, Keepa and stuff like that. So I would just sit in stores for hours a day, just scanning and over scanning probably hundreds of thousands of items. I kind of got an idea of, what sell, what didn't sell, what would be profitable and what wouldn't. And over the next, 4 or 5 years of doing that, I slowly built my Amazon business up from the ground up. Basically starting with nothing. I didn't have no, fallback, no job or nothing, no money like that to fall back on. So I had to basically, Amazon was my full-time job, even though it wasn't providing a full-time income in the beginning. So I just grinded for years, 4 or 5 years. Eventually I started, doing retail arbitrage road trips, very close. I lived in Minnesota, would slowly travel to like Iowa and Nebraska, close to my home, drive 4 or 5 hours, and started sourcing, other areas and stuff like that. I'm going to jump forward to now. This year I'm on pace to do about 1.5, 1.6 million in sales, doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and wholesale. And a big part of my business is in my business, I try to focus and go in areas where a lot of people don't focus on, because we all know that Amazon in general is very competitive, and there's different things we can do to give ourselves an edge when sourcing and trying to find products. So, one of the edges that I do is that I source exactly the same as a lot of other people, but I usually will hold my products back for a few months before I sell them. So I focus a lot on buying a lot of clearance Lego. So when different stores like Costco or Target or Walmart will, go 50% off on, Legos and toys and stuff like that, everybody will flock out to the stores, buy it, and then send it in right away. And they're all fighting to the bottom to scrape a profit. Generally what I do is I'll go out and I'll do the same thing, but I'll just hold back and I'll allow everybody else to send their products in. And then I'll wait a little bit before I send my products in. So that way I can, make money when the price starts to go back up as the sellers drop off. So here's a couple little pictures of some of my hauls of me, hitting the Target Lego clearance, I think last month or the month before, earlier this year doing, Costco clearance, going into Costco's and just loading up 5, 6, 7 carts at a time. And a mixture with doing the long-term holds and stuff like that. I also do a lot of retail arbitrage from the road, where I've traveled to 44 states and 3 countries, and doing retail arbitrage and living pretty much in my car, hotels, Airbnbs, and traveling around the country and stuff like that. Me and my little SUV, and then when needed, I will rent a U-Haul trailer or an actual U-Haul or a Penske truck if the hauls get that big. I just got back on some pretty exciting road trips. I spent a few weeks in Dallas last month, where I was hitting all of the Bed Bath & Beyond and all the Bye Bye Baby stores. This is a haul from probably my best haul of the year so far this year. I had found a Bye Bye Baby store in Dallas where they had about, I picked up about 4,000 units from these guys at 80% off retail. I had to rent a 26-foot U-Haul and literally filled the whole thing up from the floor all the way back, all the way up to the roof. And It's crazy. I just bought all this stuff last month, and pretty much I'm sold out of over half of it already. Like I'm selling like 100 to 200 to 300 units a day of some of the SKUs that I picked up, which was really great for cash flow and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, my biggest thing is traveling around the country doing retail arbitrage. Here is a map of the United States. I've shopped at well over, I would say, 6,500 retail stores in the United States. And all these little dots represent stores and other things like that of everywhere that I've sourced around the country. And one thing that I really enjoy about being able to travel and doing this is that if you go to a new city and you're sourcing products in the city, say it's not reaping you, very, good fruits, good rewards, you can change directions and go hit another city, hit another state. So I've really utilized doing that. And one, I love to travel. And I know a lot of these guys probably make a lot more money than I do from behind their computer at home, which is freaking amazing. I'm not as good as at the OA thing like that, but I love to travel and I love to hang out with friends and meet resellers and, network and build relationships. And, being able to travel so much is, granted me, to making a lot of friends in the reseller space along the way, because I'm always traveling and meeting people and, going to events and stuff like that. So that's kind of just a brief, in a nutshell of what I do with my business and, how I source and stuff like that. I'm going to jump in and I don't do a lot of OA. My OA is very sporadic. Like I'll have 1 month I'll say I'll spend 30, 40K on OA. And then it'll be like over the next 2-3 months, I might spend 5K. So my OA is very sporadic where I don't always find deals. And sometimes I wait for sales and stuff like that before I jump on stuff. So I'll do OA when I'm able to, but it's usually just, retail arbitrage. And I do a lot of wholesale too. My business is growing a lot in the wholesale space too, where I just buy, a year to 2 year supply of products. And then I just replenish it every couple of months into Amazon and just, sell out over the year or whatnot. So here we go. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how I do my OA when I do OA. I shop a lot of, smaller to medium sites, once in a while I'll do Target and Walmart and stuff like that. I do a lot on GameStop when they have sales a handful of times a year. I'll do, focus on, doing obviously your cash back and stuff like that when you can do cash back, buying discounted gift cards and stuff like that. But again, what my strategy is when these stores run these sales, how many other hundreds or thousands of sellers are running to this same website and buying all the exact same products where Keepa looks good, everything looks great. And then you have 100 people send it in. And the next thing you know, a week later, everybody's losing money. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I've sourced from the GameStop sales and what I do as far as my strategy to make money when I do those products. So when GameStop sometimes will run like a 20 or 30% off action figure sale or like a buy 2 get 1 free or something like that. I'll check the site at every couple of days to see if there's anything going on. But I'm going to give you guys an example here of a product that I sourced from GameStop. This is an action figure that I bought back in, I want to say in October of 2022. He normally retails, I think, for around 20.
Are you sharing your screen? This part of your screen right now? You might have to change the way we just see the slide with.
Oh crap! Okay.
So let me. I'm gonna remove. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Click on share screen at the bottom again and see if you're able to share the entire screen.
Let's see.
Yeah, so remove it and then do entire screen this time, and that way it'll show all your tabs. I think it was just showing one tab.
Oh, here, let's see. Share screen.
Entire. There should be a tab at the top that says entire
screen. There we go. Yeah. Boom. Okay. My bad. All right. We good now? I think we're golden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Candace says you're good to go. So.
All right. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So let me, since you guys didn't see the screen, I do, like I said, I do a lot of the GameStop sales. I keep an eye on when they're running a good sale. And here's one of the action figures that I bought last October from GameStop. This was the GameStop exclusive, which I love doing store exclusives when I'm sourcing products. And I think this guy was like around, I think $26, $27 retail. They ended up having this guy on sale for $17.99. And I stacked my discounted gift cards and then obviously, your cash back, Rakuten, Be Frugal or whatever like that, whatever the best one is at the time. I'll usually use. But I just want to kind of show you how when I figure out when to sell, how I source and stuff like that. So yeah, here, if you could look back in, where are we at here? October, right here, October of 2022. This is, the product is good. It's selling good. It's selling for 50, 60 bucks. And then you have the GameStop sale where you can see the big spike in sellers and then obviously the huge drop in price. And obviously, I've been burned too many times where I'm buying here with everybody and then I'm sending it in and then I'm selling it on the way down where I'm making $2, $3, sometimes breaking even, sometimes even losing, So usually what I'll do is, depending on the product, different items, require different hold times. So usually sometimes with the GameStop exclusive action figures, sometimes the hold time isn't too long. It can be, 3 to 8 months, depending on the price point you're seeking. Obviously you hold out longer. Sometimes you can, get a little bit higher price point as long as GameStop doesn't re-release it. But obviously said, everybody buys the product, boom, the price pretty much drops down to 30 bucks where you're not really making any money. And then I held out to I held out for a while, a little bit longer. And then I think I ended up getting around 50 something, 52, 53 bucks for my figure like that not too long ago. So I think I held them for 7 months or something like that. But yeah, usually if I can get, if I can make 20 bucks on my items and stuff like that, that's usually what I'll do. And it took me many years of building up my fast flips to be able to do this. Cause obviously, people will be like, oh, well, you bought that, you only made, 20 bucks on that. And you could have flipped that money, 5 times in that amount. And that's true. But eventually, there's not enough products for me to buy. I still do all the fast flips where I'll buy everything that I can, flip it right away. But then I'll also correlate in my long-term holds with that as well. Cause sometimes I can't spend my money fast enough. Sometimes there's just there's not enough product out there. And so I'll buy fast flips to kind of just keep paying my bills up front. And then I'll do the long-term hold flips to kind of, give me some cushion on the back end. And this stuff really helps too for if I ever go through a dry spell of where sourcing isn't working out very well, or if I'm not finding products, I know I've always got profitable products in the back burner ready to sell to make a profit. I do a lot of things with the Lego website as well. And this is probably one of my favorite sites that I source at. I do a lot of the gift with purchases. A few times a month, the Lego site will get, if you say you spend $80 on, Star Wars Legos, you'll get these 2 free sets. And sometimes with the free Lego sets, they can sell anywhere from 10 to 100 bucks, depending on the rarity of it and how many they were giving out at the release. And I do a lot of long-term holds as well with my, gift with purchases, which helps, get my money back on my buy cost, what I was getting in at. And, you have your, your Be Frugals, your Rakutens. I know if you have a Capital One Spark card, they'll do a lot of cashback things within their own portal and stuff like that. I'm going to show you guys another example of another Lego that I bought last year. This is another one that I bought back in October of last year as well. I think I paid about 20 bucks for it. Currently it's retired and they're not making any more. And so that means the supply dries up and then the price goes up. And this one ended up being, I think, about a 5-month hold. Again, you see the same thing. Everybody starts buying and then everybody starts selling out. Sellers drop. I mean, we were sitting at 212 sellers there. I think this is where I bought it, was back in October. And I let everybody sell out. And then I sold mine around March of this year, where I got around, I think I got about 55 bucks a unit and sitting at, so again, another $20 profit per unit, which they're very small. They don't take up any space. I'll throw them in my storage unit. And then once I'll set a keep alert for when it hits the desired price that I'm looking for, then I know, okay, it's time to send that item into Amazon now. And then I can load up and grab all the units that I was able to snag between online and in the store. Lego online will limit you, to sometimes 2 to 10 units per item, and they won't let you reorder. So a lot of times if there's an item that I really like on the Lego site, I'll run around to the stores as well. Because Lego has some really good reward program where every 100 bucks you spend, I think you get about $5 in rewards. And then you can stack that with gift with purchases. You can do some pretty good damage if you learn how to, jump in and do some of that. And I mixed a lot of that too, with doing just a standard retail arbitrage. And I'll actually share. Oops, not that one. I'll actually share a bolo with you guys too. Here's Gojitsu toys. These can be found pretty much Walmart, Target, Kohl's, wherever you do retail arbitrage. They probably sell them there, where they sell toys. And if you find these packages in the store, what you want to do is look at the back of the package, and here it shows the list of the photo of all of the characters from that line. And if you look at the far right hand side of the screen there, it says ultra rare. So every time a new series of these toys comes out, they'll have a really rare figure, which basically is like if they come in, say, a case of 12 figures to a case, you'll have one of that 12 will be the rare one, and the rare ones can generally sell for $40 to $100, depending on the time of the year and how much people are finding and selling. So when you are out doing retail arbitrage, make sure you check the back of these figures and look for the ultra rare. And then when you're out in stores, then you can figure out which one to look for. And then this one currently is $9.99 if you can find it at Target, at Walmart, and the buy box is at $56, which is currently $31 profit. And you can actually find this one out in the store right now in the wild. Like I said, they're pretty rare. I think I've probably this year alone, I've probably found maybe 3 or 4 of him. And while I'm out doing retail arbitrage at Target and Walmart, I just run by and check and see if they have one. And then I'm, on to the next product, on to the next, store and stuff like that. So make sure you guys, when you guys are out in public, you keep an eye out for those. And, yeah, that's pretty much what I do in a nutshell. And I'm happy to answer any questions with you guys. And if I can help you, I'll be happy to do so. I appreciate you guys for sharing, listening, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. We'll jump into Q&A here real quick. Just want to give one more shout out to hold on a second, to Seller Amp real quick. Boom, let me hop here. Just so you guys know, on all our YouTube channels, Seller Amp is our preferred software for product research, even though Jameson chooses to use an inferior one. Just want to put that out there. Seller Amp is like super simple. And the reason why I love Seller Amp so much is like they support the community. Obviously, Warner and Miles are here helping us out. They actually came to Miami last year on the yacht and partied with us. And I truly think that they are like the best product research. You guys can obviously use, there's so many tools out there to use, but I have a strong preference for Seller Amp, and it gets the job done. And it's amazing too for retail arbitrage. Like if you guys are going out in stores, it's the best app that I've seen that has like, if you click on Keepa on Seller Amp, they programmed it in a way that even on Scout IQ, I haven't seen this, to where you can basically, it's better than Safari Keepa. Like if you open Keepa.com on Safari, you can actually, like on Seller Amp, you can navigate Keepa well and like look at, offers tab and like a bunch of complicated stuff in order to like really see what the sales are. So anyway, back to the pod. We'll jump straight into some Q&A with Jameson here, and we'll bring the other speakers on as soon as they're ready. So Carter, Warner, we got Warner here, and I think Miles is going to join us in a second. We'll go ahead and put Miles up there. All right, guys, let's run it. We'll start with some questions for Jameson, and then if you guys have questions for any of the speakers, comment them below. And we'll also be doing this Rolo Printer giveaway really soon here, so be sure that you guys have signed up for GoToLister. The link should be in the description of whoever's YouTube channel you're watching. In about 15 minutes here, we'll be giving away that Rolo Printer to one of you guys. And so let's dive into it. We got Dasa saying, how much money did it take you to start when you first started doing RA, Jameson?
Gosh, honestly, a few $100, honestly. Yeah, I remember when I first started doing my, retail arbitrage, I would, sometimes only have $100, and I would go in and, sometimes I'd only find 1 or 2 items. It was just a mixture.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about RA is like with OA, you have to wait a few days to get the product, but with RA, you can literally list it the same day and have it available for sale. Someone wants to know what your Twitter is.
Oh, I actually don't have, I have a Twitter. I don't think I've ever used it though. I only use Instagram and old man Facebook.
Gotcha. Your map is frameable art. Yeah, you should get that framed.
That's true. That map is sick.
Yeah, it's actually like it looks fake.
Have you been every state, Jameson? All 50?
Just 44.
Okay.
I'll let you take this one, Warner. What's the most reliable way to get invoices to get approval to sell a brand?
Give me the ungating question, huh?
You have all the YouTube videos that pop up when you type it in.
That's fair. You can use literally anything. Your retail, like except for retail receipts. Anything you buy at Walmart.com, all that good stuff. Just submit it multiple times; it'll work. You're good. Wholesale suppliers, if you want to be super, on top of things.
Awesome. Yeah, and that goes for Marty's got an ungating question too. Yeah, I mean, basically like any receipt from like a big retailer works these days. ChristianBook.com is great for CDs, DVDs, and different things like that.
You say CDs?
Any type of media. Yeah, CDs. You still sell CDs, Jameson?
I'm going to answer that. No, I don't.
All right. We got Side Hustle Experiment here. What's good, brother?
Hey,
homie.
Have any of you? Oh my God, I almost read that. Jerry coming in hard.
Had that in my head.
Just sign up for Go to List. You're ready to run the Rolo Printer. Heck yeah, baby.
Jerry almost got you.
He did. But I'm quick. I'm quick now. Can you comment a certain area being more competitive to the LA? Yeah. Do you have any? Like, what's the most competitive part of the country for retail arbitrage? Would you say, Jameson?
I would probably say New York, New Jersey, Los Angeles is super competitive. Actually, one of the Lego pictures I showed on my slide, that was actually from Costco in Los Angeles. I went in and I bought like 200 Lego sets there at clearance, like 60% off retail earlier this year. So there is opportunity everywhere, even in the competitive areas. Not everybody knows everything in your areas. And I do some sourcing trips to LA, and sometimes I do really well, sometimes I do all right, but I always find profitable items.
Awesome.
Do you ever get into any beef over people who are like, it's their turf or something? You're coming out of nowhere.
I've only had one. This was actually probably like
Taylor has a funny story about
ago.
that actually. Taylor Jones, he told me, he's like, bro, I saw Jameson like the first time I met him. He was so mad because somebody like, went by you with like a cart of your product, and Taylor was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know Jameson had a temper on him like that.
I mean,
he said you were mad because someone stole all your shit. You're like, oh.
I mean, I'm territorial, but I'm nice if you talk with me. But one time I was at a Toys R Us in Minnesota, and I was a really big Toys R Us guy back then, and I was at my home store in Minnesota, and there was another couple there that were also big Toys R Us sellers, and I tried to introduce myself to them one day, and they totally ignored me. I'm like 2 feet. Hey guys, how's it going? I see you guys source here a lot. I even tried to like share some product with them just to try to make friends, and they totally blew me off and were like, leave us alone. Like, that's the only time I've ever had anyone be mean to me in the store.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like not in our circle don't understand that you make more money like making friends than
it's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. I haven't had any issues with like other Amazon sellers, but I've had issues with like the actual people working at the store, like getting pissed at me for like buying a certain amount of stuff, like buying like 20 swimming pools. They're like, what are you going to use 20 swimming pools for?
Dude, like a year ago, I was actually in a Target in Las Vegas, and I saw a guy scanning. I looked over his shoulder, saw him scanning on Amazon. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, man? You do Amazon too? And the guy was, again, a complete jerk off, like just being rude. And I'm like, oh, cool. You full time? Oh man, that's so awesome. Good for you, man. You enjoy it, stuff like that. And then he's like, yeah. And he was like, what's your name? I'm like, Jameson. He's like, wait, are you D Jameson? He's like, dude, I follow you on Instagram. Blah, blah. And then he was like super nice guy after that. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you were being a jerk before?
Weird.
Carter, what's your opinion on getting a business license before starting Amazon FBA? After? What type of business license? What do you recommend to your students?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not required when you need it. I think once you get to the point where you're like, I want to take this business seriously, I think you can start, maybe potentially reaching out to, a CPA, someone of higher knowledge about that for me. But I personally just have an LLC.
Gotcha. Warner, I get this question all the time. I don't really like this question, but what amount of sellers on a listing would you consider as being too saturated? What's your answer to that?
Yeah, it depends on the listing. Figure out how many sales on the listing is worth it for you, and it's going to vary. You could compete with 100 sellers and it could be worth it. Or 100 on a 30 selling listing obviously isn't worth it. So just figure out what a listing is worth it for you.
Yeah, and I always care more about like if there's a dramatic increase in the number of sellers versus, like a lot of sellers, because a lot of sellers could all be doing really well. And also look at the number of competitive sellers. So what if there's a bunch of sellers selling a product for like $20, like let's say 5 or 10, but there's 90 people on the listing and everybody else is priced at like 40 plus, you're only really sharing sales with those people priced low. There's a lot of variables in it, and there's no clear-cut answer. When you travel to each state, do you get tax exempt in each state, Jameson?
No, I'm a schmuck. I pay tax in every state that I go to.
Is it better to do wholesale in the beauty category? I guess me and Warren are really the only ones doing wholesale. I mean, any category that sells well, it doesn't really matter what category. I'm advising people, consider categories that we're not always talking about on YouTube, because I was having a lot of success before Amazon suspended my Amazon account, selling products that I don't even mention the category because I don't want everyone to know about it. So yes, beauty's great, but look at every category. What's your answer to that, Warner?
I mean, yeah, there's, like you're saying, there's stuff profitable everywhere. What you should do is build lists of products that you want to sell and then go track them down. Instead of tracking down lists, track down what you want to sell and then go find people who sell it.
I do
categories
I don't
with low
beauty,
returns.
Beauty wholesale, but I do have a lot of friends that do it. I would be very careful who you're buying from. I've had many friends over the years get sold expired stuff, and they've spent tens of thousands of dollars with these guys. They get them shipped, and they're expired, and they got to throw them out. So be very careful who you buy from. That's all I can give you.
Did that happen to Jerry? I bet that happened to Jerry.
He doesn't do beauty.
Okay. Products with low returns.
Toys.
Groceries.
Yeah.
Used books.
Anything that people already know what they want, right? So even some clothing has low returns, like like you see the classic like socks. People know what size sock they are.
True. What are some categories with high returns?
Shoes.
Women's clothing, bras.
Women's
shoes. Yeah. Yep, bras. Yes, bras.
Women's everything.
Warner, what is the best thing about online arbitrage and the thing that you hate the most about it, aside from sourcing?
Interesting question. I guess best and worst part. It's not that weird. I mean, the best part is that it's outsourceable, right? Like we do like 200K a month, and I really don't do too much to do it. The thing I hate the most, I mean, probably like the leakage that can happen if you're not watching it. It's probably like the worst part. Sourcing is not the worst part. If sourcing is the worst part of OA for you, then it might not be the right business for you, to be honest. Sourcing is a treasure hunt. If it's not a fun treasure hunt, like it's going to be a grind, but if it's not, like if you don't get some little dopamine when you find something, like
you got to enjoy that part of it. Yeah. 100%. For everyone that wants to enter the giveaway, all you got to do is go to gotolister.com, enter your email there, and email us at support@gotolister.com. Email us Reselling Bootcamp. I'll share with you real quick.
How many people have entered the giveaway so far?
I'll have to have Rustum tally it up. We probably got like 30-ish people. So like you guys have a really high chance of winning this Rolo Printer.
Time for me to enter.
Yeah,
we're gonna enter and win. Give me the Rolo.
I'm gonna hit up all my VAs to enter real quick.
1 week we had the same person win back to back in like a 2-week period, and I gave it to her 2 times, Denise. So I don't think she entered today though.
Denise, you're banned from this giveaway.
Denise is the goat at winning the Rolo giveaway.
So all you guys got to do is go to gotolister.com, click on free trial. Again, this can list any product that exists on Amazon that helps you track your profits. And for everyone out there that likes Seller Board, a lot of people talk about Seller Board. We're actually having Seller Board type stats come out in the next 2 weeks. Dom, my developer, who is also an Amazon seller, he's my partner in the business. He does wholesale and online arbitrage, and he knows exactly what you guys need. And he's going to be making that available pretty soon. And we'll never raise the price on you. Currently, it's $50 a month. Inventory Lab is more. We will always keep you at $50 a month as long as you sign up now. In the future, we will charge more, but currently no, because we're growing. So all you got to do is go to gotolister.com, enter your email here, and then email us at support@gotolister.com, and you'll get all this stuff I see on the screen. You see on the screen here, it says $1,000 value. Email us Reselling Bootcamp. Email us those 2 words at support@gotolister.com, and we'll put you in the giveaway. We'll do the giveaway in about 5 minutes here. I'm going to take away my screen.
James, what's your Instagram, man? Someone's asking. You got to drop it.
What for Instagram?
It's just my first and last name, Jameson Philippi.
Yeah, and guys, we're here on YouTube. Obviously, you guys all have, you guys watch YouTube, so be sure to subscribe to everyone here. Show them some love. Once you master, should place a camera on the app price of the product to price the product. That would be like some complex technology. They're talking about seller amp, like having it like look at the price tag. That'd be cool. How does sales tax work on Amazon? I mean, don't you just see it like in the transaction report that you pay sales tax according to each
Yeah,
state?
you used to have to do it yourself. It used to be a pain back in the day, but now Amazon remits in most states. So confirm that your state does, but you should be fine.
Yeah, you guys should not be paying sales tax upon purchasing product if you can't. Like a lot of online arbitrage webs, I call them online arbitrage websites. A lot of retail websites don't want you to resell their product. So you'll have to pay the sales tax there because you're kind of doing it incognito unless you have a prep center in a tax-free state, which is a life hack. You guys should do that. But try to avoid paying sales tax on the purchase if you can. How can I make friends in this business? How'd you guys make friends in this business?
I started making videos like this. I think Carter was actually one of the first Amazon sellers I talked to, which is funny.
Really? Yeah,
Dude, he hasn't posted on YouTube in a year. Tell Carter right now to post on YouTube.
Warren, I think you're about to pass me in subs. What are you at right now?
56, I think.
Carter's like, you're gonna pass me in subs, and he hasn't posted it
because you haven't posted anything, bro.
No, I've been dry on YouTube. I gotta get back out.
This is his first video all year. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Warner, if I find a decent prep center, would it make sense to start getting virtual assistants and treat this like an enterprise as quick as possible?
Only if you already know how to source. If you're hiring VAs before you can spend 10, 20K on your own every month, then you don't know what you're not going to have an effective team. It's not a shortcut.
What's that tab you have all the way to the left? What did I show? I don't even know. It's weird now.
That's funny. Miles and I showed a bunch of example products today, so go reverse source off those products. Go back to the first like 30 minutes of the video and reverse source any of the winners.
100%. And just a reminder, everyone, we're also going to be giving away. I think this is huge for all y'all's audiences. GoToLister eventually is going to have this built in, but for now we have this spreadsheet here, and it tells you your replens. So the replen spreadsheet as well is what you guys will get. Do you guys do a good job of replenning your stuff, Carter?
Tried to. Yeah, I have my VAs have like a restock spreadsheet. So especially when you're buying stuff on sales and it's not on sale all the time, being able to figure out when those sales are happening and capitalize can definitely help.
What about you, Warner? How are you doing on your restock? Are you got a pretty good system in place?
Yeah, we built a pretty fancy spreadsheet that can combine some data. It's overkill for almost everyone.
Because our formula is simple. We look at the day of the last sale, and then we look at the 7 days from the day of the last sale and multiply that by 4 for a 28-day sales projection. And then we subtract what we have in stock. What kind of formula are you using?
That kind of works. We just combine a lot more data and like pull averages based on how fast it sold this period, like forecasting for the future. Like it's overkill for most people. Like,
are you then taking the number that's the biggest in most cases, just to like give like an optimistic, or
I mean, a lot of times. Often it's just kind of down to feel. Like how fast did you sell it per days that you were in stock, and then multiply that. That's like one of the easier ways to figure it out. And then we also, with OA, especially half of the value in you guys building this business is the long-term effect. So one of my VAs does not source any new leads. He just looks through our catalog because it's like tens of thousands. And so anytime a sale rolls back around, we say, hey, go look through the 500 products already found on that website.
Yep. Do any of you guys use artificial intelligence in your business?
Not at the moment.
I use GPT for like content stuff, but not often for Amazon.
I use it for content. I use Opus.pro. Like it could chop up this content. This content's not great to chop up because we're on 4 different screens. We use ChatGPT for merchant fulfilled tickets. So somebody messages us. I have instead of my virtual assistants, they mess up. They have broken English. So instead of having them mess up, they just put it in ChatGPT. It comes out. Sometimes it's a little cheesy, but it's better to have perfect sentences, in my opinion. So let's see what else we got. Should I go mainstream websites for online arbitrage or try lesser known websites?
You can start with big sites. Yeah, I mean, there's good stuff on big sites, and you're probably more familiar with those brands and that kind of stuff. But if you're just genuinely starting, you should not go straight to the sites. You're gonna have no idea what to look at. You should reverse source.
I've only done books. Can you just list the same way on Amazon? Like when you list books, it all goes to the same inventory list. Yeah, like so when you list products, I recommend dividing your batches, your shipments to Amazon by category. So do books in one category, do like clothing in another. That way it's going to prevent split shipments, but it's basically the same exact process. Some items do require polybagging, but pretty simple. Top stores for retail arbitrage, Mr. Jameson.
I still like, I love Target if the opportunity is right. Walmart can be good. I love GameStop, Lego. I've sourced at a lot of smaller chains. I just go a lot harder at those chains. Stores the size of like GameStop, like stuff that's like a little bit off the beaten path. If you learn their system, you can do really well with their rewards and sales and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jameson, for GameStop, how often do they do those sales? Like, that's not even a website I've thought to source on before.
Dude, they probably run sales every month. I mean, I probably only shop them, maybe 10 times a year. But I go really hard when I do them.
Okay.
You do them? Wait, you said you do them?
When I
As a new seller, what are some good strategies to manage cash flow?
We're going there, Avery.
Yeah, we're going there. That's what happens when Jameson comes on. And he's 40 years old. He
Your
brings out
face?
the child in me.
All right.
I feel like my dad's around. Just kidding. As a new seller, what are some good strategies to manage cash flow? I'll let Warner take that one.
FBM. If you're brand new, you can ship straight to the customer. It's going to be way slower, but like right now is the time to do it. If you guys are not merch fulfilling, you're not serious about your business right now, I don't think. And you can clip that.
There's a reel right there. Clip that.
Right now, back to school, there's so much stuff that's in hot demand. It's twice as fast with cash flow because you don't have to ship it in to wait to get your money back, merch and fulfill. And then once you know what you're doing, look at like a Plum or something with a longer payback period.
This is an interesting question. How do you open a case log for an Ungate that won't work?
Make a new case. Don't reopen the same case. Get a new rep who knows the rules.
Mm-hmm. And what's your advice if you're ever in trouble getting ungated in like a particular brand or category?
I mean, keep submitting. Worst case, you can always buy another profitable item and rip that invoice and eventually you get through.
Have you heard of people requesting approval and then getting red restricted on brands starting out? That actually happened to one of Taylor's friends where like they requested so many times that Amazon just said, nope, no more.
Interesting. I mean, submit a legit invoice. Were they doing like the blank paper method or like?
They use the same invoice that got Taylor ungated, but Taylor's account is obviously has like a lot more sales.
Right.
So
sometimes we like to add notes. Like I've helped people get ungated, like adding the notes like the ASIN and like trying to like obviously not like allow for like some robotic review, like have a human be able to review it. Sometimes the notes definitely helps.
Mm-hmm. Jameson, when you started out with little to no money, did you start with FBM?
Honestly, when I started out, I didn't even know what FBM was. So I just did FBA. I was doing eBay at the same time, like probably selling maybe like $1,000 to $1,500 a month. So, I mean, I had a little bit of cash flow and then I just kept, buying Amazon product. As I would get a little bit more money from eBay, I would go and buy a product for Amazon and I would just do FBA because that's all I knew. And I mean, I wasn't even good at that.
Jenna says, and shout out to Jenna, she came to Costa Rica with us. How about a brand restricted that's not accepting applications? I can speak as a bookseller. We have popular textbooks that you can't apply for. Doesn't mean you're 100% going to be able to sell the book. I only know like a handful of people who can, and they paid tens of thousands of dollars to contact Amazon, to contact the brand, to like come up with a solution. So that's like a very niche thing for popular books. But have you guys ever heard of like red restricted items? Any strategies on how to get around that?
I mean, if the brand's not accepting applications, then they're just not. Like you'll see it with most of the brands like like It Cosmetics, Clinique, like those brands that went direct through Amazon, like you just can't get ungated anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Q4 strategy. Should we start sending in items for Q4 now?
Probably not. Not unless you got a bunch of money. Like
yeah, storage fees are going to kill you come October, November, December.
Yeah, I mean, just send in items that sell well now, and then I would say like October, start loading up.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the date where they start doing the storage limits? They start cutting them. What's that date again? Or is that just
last year? They slashed them pretty aggressively in November, so we're gonna make sure we're sold through all our junk in October this year.
Yeah, they've done something different like every year, so we just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It was restock
Yeah.
limits, capacity limits.
I wish I could just mark my calendar, and prepare.
Yeah. If it's one thing we've learned, we just have no idea what's going to happen.
For our yearly storage limit aneurysm.
Thank you.
When you do FBM and free shipping, you just buy cheaper or charge a bit more to cover shipping and not lose money?
You got to do free shipping.
Deeper, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, you won't get the buy box unless you do free shipping. It's consumer psychology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I do too. How do you sell something on Amazon that isn't there? Make a listing.
You
can have success doing that.
Not fun.
We've actually been doing that a little bit lately, and we've had a little bit of success. I don't prefer doing it, but it works.
Yeah,
I would only do that though if you know for sure.
Yeah. You can make a ton of money doing that. It just doesn't make sense. If you guys are brand new, low-hanging fruit, there's way too much easy stuff to make 10, 20K before you ever worry about that.
Shout out to all those people creating the listings, though.
True.
Jameson, what balls are you selling?
Oh, LOL balls. That's a toy brand that's red restricted if you're not already ungated in.
What should we do if we send in a product that drastically dropped in price?
You got a few options. You could sell out right away, recoup your cash. Hopefully you're not losing too much. Or if you feel the velocity is there, the amount of stock that all the sellers have, that they're going to sell out. And that way the price will recoup. My gosh, wow. The price is going to go back up in the next month or 2 months. Just kind of do your assess of storage fees and stuff like that. Sometimes I get caught in the fire and I end up having to hold for 3 or 4 months before I can get my price. And I just, eat the storage costs because it's worth it. Sometimes I'll sell at a loss. There's been times I've had to sell at a 70% loss, because it just, the play didn't work out that time. So just kind of go through what you have for cash flow, how bad you need the money back, and how long you think you'll have to wait to sell the product.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we got 21 people entered for the Rolo giveaway. So if you guys haven't already, we're about to do this.
And Carter's 20 of them with his
Carter and I's team is all 21.
I was wondering what all those Carter emails were.
Let me make sure they got in there. All right.
Carter1@gmail.com. Carter.
Yeah. Avery, can we use the catch-all? Is it different entries if you use the catch-all?
Yeah. I see. Carter's got a bunch of catch-alls coming through.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna buy
guys.
Avery.
What is Rolo? What y'all use too? Rolo Printer.
I don't.
I never bought a Rolo. We still use a Dymo.
It's a Dymo.
Oh my gosh! I almost did a Dymo giveaway today, but I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Are Rolos that much better?
They're dude. I'm running Gojitsu right now, and I guess we do get a lot of Rolo questions. But
Rolo's
Dymo's way worse, troubleshooting. And they program their printer to not work with labels they used to work for. They're like Apple, where Apple doesn't let you use certain chargers.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that's why the older Dymos are more expensive on Amazon now, because they're compatible with cheaper labels. So you can actually save money by using an older Dymo. They can do the new Dymo. They buy Dymo labels. So
yeah, my Dymo can print on anything. Maybe I gotta go resell my old Dymo.
You can sell probably 200 plus now.
I was flipping Dymos last Christmas. I knew they were getting discontinued, and I bought a bunch from Walmart, and I flipped them for double price on Amazon.
Thanks for letting me know, man.
And then I saved 3 of them. So because there's
go look at the keepographs of some Dymos. They're pretty crazy. Look at the Dymo 450. It's discontinued. All right, guys, let's do this giveaway. We got 21 people entered. I'm gonna give you guys 1 more minute to apply real quick. Go to GoToLister.com. That'll put you in the lineup for this Rolo Printer giveaway. I'm trying to find a picture of this thing.
How do you pick them? Do you spin a wheel or something, or?
I do the random number generator.
He's got to get the wheel.
Now I'm excited. I'm ready to win.
All right, guys, we're gonna get into this giveaway. I'm gonna pick the winner real quick. In the meantime, we're gonna hear Steve's opinion. Shout out to Steve for streaming this on his channel as well. Here's Steve's opinion on GoToLister.
The number one thing I love about it most is it helps me list and process my items that much faster. And as you know, if you want to grow your Amazon business, speed is the name of the game. If you're thinking about selling on Amazon, or you're already selling and you want to be able to grow your business quicker, definitely check out GoToLister. Appreciate you, Avery, for creating the software, and it's really helping me grow my business. Much love.
Steve.
So I'll show you guys exactly how I do this. Just so you guys know, I'm not just pulling this shit out of my ass. I type in random number generator on Google. And what we're going to do, we got 23 applicants. We just had 2 more people enter. give you guys one more minute. Let me see if anybody else entered. Yeah, we got 2 more people entered, so we'll go ahead and put those people in and show it to you. This is how you guys do it. If you guys ever want to do a YouTube giveaway, this is the ethical way to do it.
Let's go.
23 here. Then we're going to click on generate. This is generate in Spanish.
Hang on, everybody pick a number. Pick a number. 16.
3.
Number
21.
3. That's going to be Lori Albers.
Oh, you already spun it? Oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, I literally guessed it. Let's go. I won. I'm just kidding.
Lori's still, if Lori's still here, comment below. We got your email. So, Mama Bear. Did she win this already? The email looks familiar.
I think I just used all my luck.
You have another 2P?
No.
No, I don't think she won before. I think she signed up for GoToLister a few days ago, so I recognize it. All right, Lori, we're gonna ship you that email. Rustam's already on it. He's gonna reach out to you via email, and we'll ship it to your house. And let's get back to some Q&A. We'll run this for a few more minutes, and we'll get out of here. Hi guys, I tried to ungate my first brand Nike. It didn't work. I watched a few videos and instructed. What could be the mistake? Could it be because I have a new account? I can tell you that brand new accounts are having trouble getting ungated in some brands. What's your experience, Warner? You're pretty tapped in with that.
Just submit it 5 times and then ask again. Don't
Okay.
One time is nothing. Yeah.
And add notes. Someone literally had that issue with Nike. We added a couple notes.
What kind of notes are you adding again, Carter?
So basically, you know how they want you to supply the ASIN, the date you ordered it, all those details. Yep. Basically, you just write them out in text form and then submit it.
Nice.
And maybe that gets past the robotic review at least.
Nice. Hooray for Lori. So excited for you.
Big.
I don't know if Lori's still in here or not, but she'll get that.
No, there'll be a replay.
Keeping the lives up, yeah.
Yeah, the live will be up.
How many
We'll
views?
forgive Jameson for plugging in that inferior sourcing app. We'll leave it up.
We'll have to bring some editing. All right.
What should I learn to do first in this field? I would say learn how to source, learn how to find good inventory. And that's really all that matters. Don't worry about the business stuff. Don't worry about anything else. Literally just find good product. How to get a product to the first page? Is that something I pay extra for? Well, with what we're doing, this is Reselling Bootcamp. We're reselling products that already have proven sales velocity. So there's no reason to do PPC or keyword or anything like that. We're just finding products that already have sales, and we don't really care about getting our products to the first page. That's more of a private label thing.
Yeah. If you got the margin for it, you can run a cheap PPC campaign, especially if you got a lot of something, but usually it doesn't really matter. Where do you find good products? Watch the first 30 minutes again, Jay.
Yep. What business model does everyone follow? Carter's asking questions.
Yeah. Trying to keep that engagement high. I know it's been about 2 hours, but
yeah. Use books. Even though I'm making a pity party about my Amazon account being shut down, we'll still do about $1 million a year in used books because I have a partner that I sell textbooks with. And then I was doing $90,000 a month with wholesale before Amazon decided to pull the plug on me.
You can get creative.
Yeah. Yeah, keep it on the down low.
Publicly, you are not selling on Amazon, though.
I'm no longer an Amazon seller. If Amazon's watching, I do not sell on Amazon.
If Amazon Seller Help is watching, he does not sell on Amazon.
Obviously, they're not watching. I think if they were watching, they would actually look at my case with some brains, but it's not happening. It is a very messy case. If you guys want to read the whole thing, go to romertheromer.com/blog. If you guys want to help out, /blog9. Just go to romertheromer.com and you'll see it. How do I keep track of money spent and earned? I'll let Warner, you take that one. Do you put everything in your SaaS spreadsheet?
Yeah, put it in a spreadsheet and then plug it into your GoToLister account, Avery. Come on now. Yeah. That's a softball.
Well, that's what we need is a seller amp integration. But if you purchase something, you're not going to be able to enter the listed price until you list it. So, yeah, that's why I passed it off to you. But pretty soon we will have when you purchase something from Seller Amp, you'll be able to export it to GoToLister. It'll have all your inbound items in there as well. What are you laughing at, Jameson?
Are we?
Side hustle.
Guys, just wanted to ask, the main goal at first is just to build capital and kind of forget about profits for a while. How can you build capital and forget about profits? The whole goal of selling on Amazon is to take your money and turn it into more money as quickly as possible. That comes with finding high return on investment products and products that sell quickly. So if you're going to sell products with lower return on investment, make sure they sell fast. And I've seen this happen so many times, guys, like with the Stanley mugs, with chlorine, with the pools, with products people currently aren't talking about. Like if you find a high ROI, fast moving product, it's game over. Like use that.
The first one is life changing, and then you spend the rest of your Amazon trying to make more of it.
And the crazy thing is they exist at every, like, they're out there all the time. You just have to find them. Jameson, what's your favorite item to buy at Menards?
Is there a Menards polo right now? Is that why he's
No,
saying that?
I actually don't source there.
Okay.
We both spoke at an event in Kansas City a couple months ago, and we did a walkthrough through Menards, and we were just like goofing off in the store. So he's just talking smack.
Where do you source used books? Thrift stores, used bookstores, Goodwill, Savers, McKay's, Powell's. They're all over the place. SAS spreadsheets are awesome. I concur. When you're outsourcing, do you keep track of mileage?
Yeah,
I did. I wrote off like $38,000.
Mile IQ does that for me.
In 2018, I wrote off $38,000 in miles, and I only did 80,000 in Amazon sales.
Damn, that's insane.
But it was true. I tracked everything with Mile IQ.
If you guys have not tracked your miles and you've been driving around, Google Maps tracks your timeline. So if you know which days you went sourcing, you can get your miles that way.
Yep. I just look at the very beginning of the year, what my speedometer says, and at the end of the year, and then my CPA says you can just estimate like what percent was business. So 30% business, and then just write off those miles. I have $200 in my account reserve starting next week. Will that money be up for reserve? It just depends. Like, don't really worry about that too much starting out. Like Amazon will hold your money as you scale. I know it sucks, but all you can do is make sure you're selling good product that doesn't get returned, because Amazon's verifying you're not a scammer, and eventually you'll get consistent payouts.
Okay, gents, I unfortunately have a meeting I have to get to real quick.
All right, brother.
Hey, appreciate
you out of here.
Thank you for having me on. Great presentations, Warner, Jameson, and Miles.
Drop a 1 in the chat for Carter, guys. Drop a 1. Give him some love real quick. You can also go subscribe to his YouTube, Instagram.
Hey, enjoy that Rolo Printer, Carter.
I will, man.
Yeah, what was his pseudonym today? That wasn't actually the winner. It was Carter. Different name. Avery, your camera with this setup.
Let's get back here. Avery built a handheld scanner with Go-To Lister auto built in for stores / warehouses. I almost did a scanner private label in 2020. I was gonna do a Bluetooth scanner, but it was like $15,000 for a mute button. I wanted to press on the side. I wanted a mute button, and they wanted to charge me $15,000 for it. So I went with that. How do you account for inbound shipping costs on Seller Amp? It automatically does, right?
If you can plug it into your settings, so whatever you end up paying on average, you can plug it in.
Yeah.
So you don't forget.
You can plug that in. You can plug in, like I put in $1.85 for my prep cost, so you can put all your cost in ahead of time.
Yeah, I got to run as well, fellas. Great streaming with you guys.
All right, brother. Me and Jameson will run this for about 5 more minutes. We'll get out of here.
Great
hanging out with you guys. We'll see you.
Thanks for watching, everybody at home. Go follow these guys and go take action on your business today. Not another tomorrow, today. Like tonight. If one of you guys actually does it tonight, message me on Discord. I want to see who's taking action. All right, see you guys.
Peace.
Okay. Yeah. How do you know when a source drop deals? How do you know when a store drop deals go to source?
For online stores, honestly, just sign up for all their emails and stuff like that. They usually will drop an email to you and let you know, a day or a week in advance when the sale's going to run. Honestly, sometimes I'll just check websites when I'm up in the morning checking emails. I'll run over to a site to see if anything happened to pop up for the day. I'll log into my Target app. I'll drop and see if there's anything, popping up. On the Target app, it'll let you look at the next week's ad early on the app, and I'll just run through that and just see if there's anything I might be interested in. And then, besides that, stuff you just kind of keep an eye on, Twitter and, follow some, I follow certain Instagram accounts and stuff like that. And they'll drop up a sales going on or anything's cool is happening, Kohl's and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to keep your eye. I still get so many. I did so much OA last year, and my inbox just gets flooded with like deals from different stores. How do you price used books? Really, with used books, what you want to do is if there's no FBA offers, you want to price it higher. Generally, with any item on Amazon, if it sells faster, you also want to price it higher. So I'll show you guys real quick. I'll share my screen here. So this is just an example. I'll go to GoToLister. I'm showing you guys, we actually have automatic pricing. And regardless of if you use GoToLister or not, this is like a good way to price your items. So I'll go ahead and log in here. It's called smart pricing. Oh, crap. I don't want to show you guys my code because I use the same code for everything. 1 second. Yeah, no FBA offers means price higher. If the book's a fast-selling book, obviously price it higher. You guys worked hard to find all the inventory that you send to Amazon, so you might as well get paid as much as possible for it. A lot of people make the mistake of freaking out. You know, they paid a lot of money for their items, and then they just sell it far too cheap. So what you can do in GoToListers, we use smart pricing. So if the book's between 1 and 125K sales rank, we try and price it at the 4th highest FBA offer. That means if FBA offer 1 is $10, FBA offer 2 is $12, FBA offer 3 is $15, and FBA offer 4 is $20. We're going to price it at $20 if Amazon's API shows us this information. And as you can see, like the higher rank the book goes, the lower we price it. And for all categories on Amazon, you should generally be following this rule. Like if you're selling a Nike product and there's no FBA offers and it sells for $40, you should price it at $45, $46. With used books, for some reason, Amazon is really generous with the buy box. One time I sold a Jewish set of books for $2,000 when the lowest price was $1,300. So Amazon, it's called the Prime Bump. You can sell your items FBA for a lot more than merchant fulfilled. And if you're patient, you can sell your FBA items higher than other FBA sellers if you wait for those sellers to sell out. So GoToLister knows this. And for used books, we price your items higher automatically. When you're doing other categories, you guys should have a pulse on, you know, what you want to sell it for anyway. So we don't automatically price. We do automatically price your other categories, but like used books, we've really dialed this in for. So if you guys sell used books, smart pricing with GoToLister is going to help you out. Best place to go to help to get ungated. I mean, you've heard from us. Just go on YouTube and type in how to get ungated. Like there's so many different videos. Walmart receipts work. Kohl's receipts work. Basically, like if you're asking about, like if it's any big name brand website or retail website, it's probably going to work for an ungate. What about wholesale accounts to buy in bulk? Any advice on this? You do a lot of like liquidation type wholesale buys, right?
Yeah, like not like liquidation in the sense where I get like pallets with a bunch of random stuff. Everything I have has invoices and like I know what I'm getting and stuff like that. I just buy, I guess the word closeouts, like I buy the last of the inventory, probably, you know, hopefully on the planet. Honestly, I started at just going to ASD in Las Vegas, you know, finding a trade show. And you don't even have to attend the trade show. You can get the list of all the vendors at the trade show. If you know, Google, you know, the ASD trade show in Vegas, and you can get a list of all the vendors at that trade show. And then you can reach out to them if you want to, and then figure out what category you want to jump into, whether it's beauty or toys or, you know, health and beauty, shampoo, grocery or whatever, and stuff like that.
Yeah. And another good way, if you guys want to get into wholesale, I mean, just type in like the name of the category, like let's say beauty, and then type in distributors on Google. You guys can also contact the brand directly and ask if you can purchase from them. They're likely going to tell you no, but then you can ask a follow-up question. Hey, what trusted distributors do you have? And then use the list of distributors they give you, reach out to those guys. And that's a great way to find distributors. Message the brand. They'll tell you no, get a list of distributors and you can order from them. I've also had success this year doing wholesale, reaching out to my friend reached out to a brick and mortar, and we basically order through the brick and mortar, and then the brick and mortar sells to us. That's another pro tip. There's so many different ways to do wholesale. Just keep trying. But once you find a good wholesale relationship, you can really run up the spend. Moham's asking, who did I use to develop the app? First, I used Indians. It was terrible. That was back in 2021, and fired them. And now I use, I have a partner down in Florida. Dom. Shout out to Dom, and he's my partner in business. What's the blog name to see your story about Amazon? Why you kicked us off? Go to romertheromer.com. I haven't added a hyperlink on it yet, but I'll add one after this. Go to romertheromer.com/blog, the number 9, and you'll be able to read my whole case. And if you guys want to help out, you can email an Amazon executive. All right, y'all. I think that about wraps it up. Thanks, Jameson, for coming on. Be sure to subscribe to Jameson's YouTube channel. It's right here, and all the other wonderful speakers. And yeah, let's do this again sometime, man.
Awesome. Smile. Let's get a quick pic, bro. Awesome.
Look at those white teeth. Oh, we got one more question. Is there a book that can teach us the whole process from beginning to end? There's tons of courses out there. I mean, Miles, Warner, me, everyone had Carter. We all have a bunch of YouTube videos. Go to starthumble.com if you guys want to start Amazon with like little to no money. I have a free course that shows you how to like get your first few thousand in profit with basically no money. And then oneaceandaway.com is also my free course. And you guys can also go to like the Amazon Launchpad, that Discord, watch all the videos on YouTube. There's tons and tons of free information out there. All right, guys, much love.
Peace out, y'all.